Welcome back to the show where I, a cooking beginner, recreate a frozen meal from scratch and make it 10 times better than the original. This is Thawed Out. So I don't actually make Benihana frozen meals all that much, neither do I really go to the restaurant all that often, both of which are pretty expensive for me, so there's really no reason for me to have had this before, so this is actually going to be my first time even tasting this thing. However, I have made egg fried rice before, I mean, who hasn't? So we're going to be tackling Benihana Hibachi chicken rice. But as always, we must try it first. Looking at this here, I mean, it looks like fried rice, sure. I see 1, 2 pieces of egg. I mean, like, this is hibachi fried rice. This should look magical, but no, this doesn't look magical. It kind of just looks like your average fried rice. But let's try it. It's not as repulsive as some of the other recipes that I've done, but it's just not very special. And Benihana hibachi fried rice should be special. So, without further ado, let's thaw this recipe out. For our rice, I'm going to use 1 cup of Japanese medium grain. Look, it's extra. And I'm going to cook it in my, wait for it, rice cooker. Uncle Roger would be so proud to know that one more white person in this world is using a rice cooker, or in my case, a rice cooker that doubles as a pressure cooker. First and foremost, I'll wash the starch off of my rice. Please do not skip this step. You don't want dirty rice, do you? Wait a second, what is that? That is not your usual outfit. What are you doing? Continuity error! Continuity error! Yeah, this was filmed the day before because you're supposed to cook this rice the day before, so shut up. Because we're using 1 cup of rice, we will also be using 1 cup of water as well. And yep, that's about it. You pretty much just let it cook the rice. It's that easy. Once it's done, put it in a baking sheet and let it sit in the fridge for at least 12 hours. I was actually not aware of garlic butter's existence before doing research for this video, and I'm very curious to find out how it is. It's apparently a Benihana staple. We'll take 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter, throw in a teaspoon of minced garlic, and a teaspoon of soy sauce. Now, unfortunately, when I was mixing my garlic butter together, the butter wasn't mixing with the other stuff so well, so I microwaved it, and that created sort of this wet puddle, and yeah, needless to say, I messed up, but I think the taste will ultimately be pretty much the same. And now on to our veggies. I've never been a particularly amazing dicer, but we're gonna give it a good old college try. For the carrots, you're supposed to cut them into long rectangles like this, and then cut them into thinner strips, and then cut them perpendicularly, and you know what, just make them into pieces like this. I give up. Next, you want to dice half a yellow onion. Now this I know how to dice. Cut it in half, then on its side, cut a bunch of parallel slits like this, then do this scary looking horizontal cut like this, and then you gotta go down on the cut just like that, and there you go, you have your diced onion. The last veggie we'll be using is green onion. For this, just group them all up and thinly slice them like this. Also, you'll just need a few tablespoons of this. I made way too much. For our chicken, we're going to be actually using thighs this time instead of breasts. Just cut your chicken into pieces that kinda look like this so that you can cut them down to a smaller size later. Now on to the actual cooking part. I'm a good boy, so I'm using a wok for this recipe instead. But I guess if you don't have one, you can use a saucepan and that'll do. First, squirt some oil into your wok, heat it to medium, and add in 2 whisked eggs. Let the whole thing cook, and then when it's about done,
rip and tear until it is done.
Then remove them from the wok and set them aside. Next, season your chicken with salt and pepper, and put in some more oil, turning it up to medium-high heat. Then just grill your chicken until you get a nice brown color on the outside. Move your chicken to a cutting board where you'll then cut them into smaller pieces about this big. Throw your chicken pieces back into the wok and stir in about a teaspoon or 2 of garlic butter. Then take your chicken back out of the wok one more time and combine it with your eggs so they can wait on deck. Freshly coat the wok with oil one more time and let it get nice and hot, and throw in your carrots and onion. Once those are softened, toss in about 2 cups worth of rice and break up any clumps, making sure the rice is nice and loose and easy to stir fry. Now add back in your eggs and chicken and stir everything together until evenly distributed. Then just toss in whatever leftover garlic butter you have and mix all of that in. So apparently to make your fried rice less wet, you're supposed to not add soy sauce directly to the rice and instead create an open space for the soy sauce to partially cook before adding to the rice. I'm letting it go about 30 seconds or so before I fully mix everything in. This isn't in the Benihana recipe that I'm using, but I like to add sesame oil as well, because I like it, shut up. Once all of your sauces are properly combined, there are only 2 things left: sesame seeds and MSG. Now, because this rice dish is so fancy, we're going to pack our rice into a bowl and flip it upside down for its presentation. Just ignore the part that fell over, we're just gonna turn it around, okay? Thank you. And finally, add some color to this very brown dish by adding the green onion that you chopped up a while ago and probably forgot about. I mean, seriously, how can you compete with this mountain of rice versus this shallow little pile of rice? And also just the greenery of the green onion just really helps with this. Also, I see so much more egg in this. There's just almost 0 egg in this. I don't know what to say. So I was informed that I apparently should have been using a spoon to try my rice this whole time. I'm sorry, Uncle, I was a bad nephew. And now, for my masterpiece. What I like about mine, actually, is the salt flavors are just a little bit more subdued. The other one was more soy sauce and salt in your face. And so this is a little more calm and relaxed. Of course, I am not the only authority that should be trying this rice. After all, I don't eat hibachi fried rice all that often. So I'm bringing in a good old buddy of mine that's lived in Japan for a really long time, so he has proper authority over this kind of dish. May I introduce Jeremiah? So are you hungry?
Yeah, sure, yeah. This looks great right here.
Yes, it's properly bussin'. Okay, so you're gonna close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, here comes the airplane. Yummy. Okay, now this is number 2.
Okay. I'm gonna say that this one right here definitely felt way more flavorful, which I believe was the first
Correct.
spoonful. So
How does it actually compare to the restaurant version?
yeah.
I'm not expecting to win, but
That's
how
fair.
does it compare to the restaurant?
this one I believe is a lot closer to the one that you would
Really?
find. I'd say this is a good attempt right here.
Well, Jeremiah, thanks for coming on. It was great to get your opinion on this.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Man, I feel like I could actually be a hibachi chef now, if I was the hibachi chef on staff that only cooked egg fried rice. You know, there's kind of a reason why Uncle Roger always harps on people making egg fried rice incorrectly, just because it's so easy to make, and like so easy in fact that there's really no reason you should be getting a frozen version of this. I mean, come on, like I know I probably did a few incorrect things here and there, but you have to admit that this is just way too easy not to do. Just make it the day before and just make leftovers. Just do anything other than this, please. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you were convinced to make this yourself, subscribe and leave a like for more thought out recipes.